Alright, I guess what's up? It's Kyle here. I'm going to do a quick run through of Impact, at least my favorite parts of Impact last night. Before I get to the main topic of this video, I thought TNA was a really good show in its entirety for the entire 2 hours. Enjoyed every bit and every bit and moment of it, even the aces and eights. Tad bits in the episode I found, or segments, 8 and 8 segments, I found interesting. The first opening match was a triple threat between Christopher Daniels, Kurt Angle, and Chavo. Love this match. This match was great, and Chavo pulling off a lot of moves I wouldn't expect him to pull off at his age, proving that he could still go, and he's still in good in-ring shape, even at the age of 41. My favorite match of the night, also probably the best match of the night, was Samoa Joe going up against Mr. Anderson. This match was really good. I'm so glad Samoa Joe is the new TV champion, because ever since the TV title's conception in TNA, since when it was called the Legends title, the only really good title holder to ever had that belt to me was AJ Styles. I even put Douglas Williams on that list as well, but AJ Styles has been the only really significant, wrestler of significance to bring some type of prestige to that belt, even though I never really had any. So to have Joe win it, and Joe being just the phenomenal wrestler that he is, Joe could bring some prestige to that belt that he never had, as well as I'm glad that Joe is, hopefully this will be a stepping stone for Joe to slowly build his way back up to the top and be world champ again. And then another thing I was want to mention too, the TV title that they used was the old World Heavyweight Championship design belt. Now I hope that, I could be wrong, but I think that they just probably used this as a placeholder because they didn't have the original TV title championship belt, because Devon hadn't sent it in to them since he did not resign his contract with the company. He probably didn't send in the belt in time with them recording this taping, but so they probably had to have some type of belt on hand, and that was the only thing that they had. Or maybe they're going to make a new belt design, TV belt design. That'd be great too, because I really don't care for the current belt design for the TV belt. But I hope they do not use the old World Championship belt and say this is the new TV title. That would just be tacky on TNA's part. So after that, and then the main event match was Bully Ray and Bobby Roode going up against Austin Aries and Jeff Hardy, tag team match. Good tag team match. In the last, I would say, 8 minutes of the match, the last 8 minutes of the match, Austin Aries was he was taking on both Bully and Bobby Ray by himself. I mean, just tremendous, spot in that entire match, in its entirety. Hardy and Aries ended up getting a victory. So a good impact, I thought, and really good build for the pay-per-view. And that's what the topic of this video is, and that's the build and the matches going forward into Bound for Glory, October 14th. I think this year's Bound for Glory is going to be, just based off the matches alone, I think this is not only going to be eclipse last year's Bound for Glory, but I think this may be the best BFG we've had in the last, I'd say, couple of years. I would say at least since 2008. Now, my honest opinion, I think last year's BFG, I don't think was terrible, or I don't think was their worst BFG. I think the reason why that pay-per-view got so much thumbs down is because the Hogan and Sting match was something no one wanted to see. And then Bobby Roode not winning the world title when he was intentionally supposed to have won, but the powers that be, politics being Hogan, ended up flipping the script at the last minute and not having Bobby to win that night. That left like a big stinker on the entire pay-per-view. So, but that's just my opinion on that. And then, so I think even the build for this pay-per-view, I think, is much better than last year's build. And that's partly due to because, well, the shows have been really great. And if your shows are great, that's going to make you want to buy the pay-per-view. So I think this Bound for Glory is going to be really good. So first off, some of the matches, you got Zema Ion defending the X Division title against Sanjay Dutt. I think this is going to be a good X Division fast-paced style match. Then you have a triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles. The team of Kurt Angle and AJ Styles going up against the champs, Kazarian and Daniels, versus Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. This has the potential to be the best match on the entire card. Then you have for the Knockouts title, Tara going up against Miss Tessmacher. This match should be decent at best. If not anything, it should be better than anything the Divas have been putting on WWE television. I think there'll be no argument there. I think everyone can agree about that. You have you got to figure since Joe's the new TV champ, he'll probably defend his title on that pay-per-view. Then you also have this past Thursday it's going to be two guys to represent Aces and Eights versus against two guys to represent Hogan. Thank God Hogan's not going to wrestle this year. Hope and Sting, hopefully he's not going to wrestle either. If Hogan's men win, then Aces and Eights will leave TNA alone and they'll release Joseph Parks. But if Aces and Eights guys win, then they get full access to invade or take over TNA or whatever. So with this, you got to figure one of the guys that's going to represent Hogan can probably be Rob Van Dam. Just for names, to put a star power name on that pay-per-view, and it's a big pay-per-view. TNA's going to go all out for it. You got to figure one of the guys is going to be Rob Van Dam. And then the second guy, unless Spencer Anderson faces Joe for the TV title or something, or maybe Bully Ray, then maybe Anderson could be the second guy. Then again, it wouldn't surprise me Sting either could wrestle too, just not Hogan, but it'll probably be Sting and Rob Van Dam. As for Aces and Eights, one largely speculation due to reports and stuff is that one of the guys in Aces and Eights is Luke Gallows, aka the former follower and lackey of CM Punk and the Straight Edge Society back in WWE, also known as Festus from Jess and Festus. He'd been signed to TNA I think like 2 months ago, got a legit contract with them. So, and it's also been said that he's one of the guys in the Aces and Eights. So you got to figure he's going to be one of the guys to represent him. And then another one I speculate myself to be one of the members to represent Aces and Eights is probably Chris Masters. Chris Masters has been with TNA for like about a year now, but the reason why we haven't seen him on Impact is because he's been promoting in Impact's Reign of King, their Indian wrestling promotion out in India. So this could be their way of bringing Chris Masters to debut on American wrestling television again on Impact. Then you have a match between James Storms and Bobby Roode. I think Hogan said on Impact is going to be a street fight or something like that. So this, either way, street fight wrestling match. These guys are going to have so much chemistry. They've had phenomenal one-on-one matches that they've had this year and even late last year for the few times they fought last year. So this is going to be just a good old-school classic wrestling match. This also, I think this is probably going to be the best match on the card. Then you have King Mo, MMA fighter, trying to make his transition into wrestling. He'll be the special enforcer. We'll see how well that works out, as if TNA didn't try that already. Anyway, and then you have the main event, Austin Aries versus Jeff Hardy with the world title on the line. This here is also another wild card match because Austin Aries is going to want to bring the best. He does bring out the best, and is going to want to, have the best match on the card. And like Steve Austin used the expression with Shawn Michaels and said he had to drink a pot of coffee to keep up with the guy. I think that philosophy also applies to Jeff, because Jeff is like a little 5-year-old kid pumped with sugar. He just bounces all over the place. So Jeff is always able to keep up with his opponents, and keep up with their pace or their level, depending on how their style and how they work. So knowing Aries and how just a phenomenal athlete that he is, he's going to want to have the best match on the card, and he's going to kick it up to like a level 5. Jeff is going to try to keep up and can keep up with his pace and give a good match. So all in all, I think the Bound for Glory card and the build is exciting. I'm getting excited about the pay-per-view. I think it's going to be a good pay-per-view. You could just tell, even just the atmosphere. I mean, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but you can just tell even in the atmosphere of TNA, just with the wrestlers, they just seem like they're in a better place. They're focused. Everything is booked like months in advance. They're not going by week-to-week booking and not knowing what's going to happen, sometime down the road. they actually have a goal that they've set, and they're heading towards that goal. So really excited for the pay-per-view and really feeling the bill. So let me know what you guys think about the pay-per-view. Are you excited? Do you feel the build and the anticipation counting down to Bound for Glory? I want to hear your thoughts and the things in the comment box below. Subscribe. Peace.